Our next film is going to be Dune Part 2. For this, our story, directed by Denis Villeneuve, Paul Atreides unites with Chani and the Fremen while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family. Facing a choice between the love of his life and the fate of the universe, he must prevent a terrible future only he can foresee. This film returning, we got Timothée Chalamet, we got Zendaya back in this thing, Rebecca Ferguson, we got Stellan Skarsgård, Christopher Walken, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Tim Blake Nelson, and I think we also get Dave Bautista back in here and a few others. These are most of our main people for the most part. But what'd you think about this, man?
I really liked it. I am a bit of a Dune fan. I've read the book once, but the book is so heavy in like details on things. It's not one of my favorite reads, but it's been a long time since I read the book also. But I kind of really like what they did with this film compared to like the Lynch version from I guess 85 or 84. And that's when Paul is in doubt of being the chosen one, the Kwisatz Haderach or whatever. And it kind of goes into a little bit of manipulation by his mother and the group that she's from, the Bene Gesserits or whatever. I really enjoyed this. Visually, it was amazing. I'm glad that they just didn't tell a story just like the like I said, the Lynch version or the version we saw like when Netflix did, not Netflix, Sci-Fi did years ago, like around 2000. But I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, I think this is a better film than the first one. I was totally cold on that one. But with that said, I still have some issues with it, man. Like I think visually it's amazing. There is some really cool set pieces, going on in this thing. Especially, I love that part where they attack that big I guess it's their drilling machine. That was a pretty cool sequence,
Harvesting machine, yeah.
Yeah, but then also there are some moments where I think kind of fall a little flat, man. Like the gladiator scene. I'm watching that and I'm like, I'm waiting for this big climax, and maybe even though that is the story, it just kind of was like, oh man, there was so much here. But I still think my biggest complaint for me with this, with these two films so far is they're just not hitting for me on the emotional level. Like I totally get the story and I get the characters' motivations, but I think it fails a lot of times to tap into that. There are moments where it does, and I think it's mostly because of the talent involved. Like, Javier Bardem, is a godsend, man, because I think his character was really underwritten, but the way he was delivering them lines, man, he had me howling a couple times. Yeah. Like, I thought he was yucking it up, man. And then there are some moments later on where Chalamet's character, he's stepping up as a leader, and I was like, yo, this is crazy what's actually transpiring, but also at the same time, it's not, I'm not getting the full impact because there's certain beats that Villeneuve is just feels like it's getting skipped over or is not considering. That part it's leaving it a bit uneven at times, man, because there's some major character moments in this thing that they happen and they're supposed to be major moments, but they feel more just, all right, we got to do this versus things that have impact, that they're necessary for the progression of the story, but they could have been more impactful. Like even Walken, man, I feel like we're not getting the best out of Walken, and I don't know, maybe he doesn't have it in him no more, or what, or maybe they just haven't figured out how to put that in him, but he's just there floating around, man, you know what I'm saying, versus like, when I see Brolin on screen, he feels there, present, doing the Brolin thing, it's just uneven in that aspect a little bit for me, at times, but I will say it's definitely a more better film, it played a little bit better than the original for me, man. Maybe because of also the action elements, but overall, I'm still kind of lukewarm on these things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you really don't like you really don't like the source material anyway.
Maybe I don't. But see, that's the thing. I never read the source material, man. All I got as any exposure was the Lynch film, which is goofy and silly in its way. But I had a conversation with someone online, and he was talking about the source film material, and I was like, there's a lot of what you described that I don't think made it into this film. You know, he was saying what the story is, you know, really about, the overall themes, you know, as they relate to, you know, imperialism and just and things like that. Like even the it doesn't come across completely to me, because ultimately our character, Chalamet's character, he has to make a sacrifice, and that sacrifice is to step up and become this leader, or everything's going to be messed up. I didn't get that sense that, you know, that motivation.
Yeah.
And also the sacrifice he has to make to step into this role. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, you know, you got a guy that's... This is a chosen one character, man. We've seen this a lot of times. Yeah. The crazy thing about this film is I could definitely see some of Star Wars being influenced by the source material of this book, like Luke's story in a way. But
also Avatar, the last Avatar.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
The Avatar films by James Cameron. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Dune's DNA is in a lot of stuff, man, that we consume regularly, but it's just weird. I don't think he tapped into that fully. Maybe in the third film it will make more sense, because I did, like, by the time the very end happened and you see what happens with him and Zendaya, I was like, yo, this might have been one of the realest moments in this whole, you know what I'm saying, 2 hours and 40 minutes that I've been watching. Like,
and that was cold. And that's something I feel like they changed. Just like they changed about him not just accepting being the chosen one or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Because like, for what I gather, just from what I know about it, he is supposed to be a reluctance, and not only a reluctance, but also the torture of what he has to give up in order to step into this leadership. Yeah, you know, and I don't think that's fully coming across in the vision right now. Maybe it will pop up later, you know, but as of right now, we'll see, man. I mean, this part did enough where I will probably most likely check out part 3. You know, I didn't plan on checking this one out, but I wanted to go to the movies. I think I said that on here. And it was going down. I was like, you know what? All right. This definitely was better than the first film, you know?
But he pretty much made that one, you know, the original Lynch film into 2 films, or, you know, it kind of expanded on the book a little, you know, on that story a little bit. But I really think that he did a better job than Lynch, you know.
He's cooking. He's cooking a little bit.
There's several things that were just skipped across.
Mm-hmm. He's cooking a little bit, but I think the biggest detriment to this is, like I said, since this story is in so many things that we've seen over the years,
it's not really new material.
Yeah, how are you going to tell this in a way that really hasn't been done before, or in a way that's going to have impact? And I think that's where I'm having the issue, is the characters, just those human moments, they're just not, you know, as strong as I think they could be, you know. Like when I look at this feels like something that's Game of Thrones-esque, you know, as far as the political dynamics and stuff that's going on, but those things aren't done they're not pulling me in as so well as like the Lannisters, you know, versus the Snows, and it's just not it being constructed in a way that, you know, like, I don't know if he needs a script doctor, you know what I'm saying, to help boost that up, or to boost up those aspects.
So far, I've been enjoying it, but I want to, when everything's said and done, between this series and James Cameron's Avatar series, I kind of wonder which saber type film's going to be, which one is going to be a better experience, like, cinematically. You know what I'm saying?
I already tell you.
Cameron has them beat, like,
I think so.
You know, with his Avatar.
Yeah, because and this is the thing why people are like, people are probably right now ready to turn this off, but like, that's preposterous. But that's what I think, because Avatar, I think, beats this thing visually. But I think Avatar also has a better economy of its storytelling. Yeah. You know, like you can say what you want, as goofy as it is than the Blue to Navi, but Cameron's stuff is more dialed in, I think, than Cameron knows what it's trying to do. I think Villeneuve is grasping at things, you know, and broader concepts.
Because both of them are basically, both of them are basically the same setup. In Dune, you had it spiced it thereafter. You really just don't have a understanding.
Man, these jokers would be mad if you
know what the spice is about. But then, you know, in Cameron's movie, you have that unobtainium, you know, whatever that, you know, that, and they actually, there you kind of see where it's a dollar value to, even though we kind of get that with Dune, but, you know.
Yeah, like, people would be mad if you tell them that this is, that Dune is Avatar. They call blasphemy. But I'm like, bro, you haven't showed me anything, at least, you know, with this film to make it that much superior than these things that we can compare it to. Like, I don't think it's that much superior to Star Wars or like you said, Avatar, or it's just they're telling a similar story in a different way, man. And the only difference is Jake Sully is probably doesn't feel like he's making a sacrifice by joining the Navy, because before joining the Navy, he was a guy with no legs, you know what I'm saying, running around, you know, doing grunt work. So it's like an upgrade for him, you know, versus with Atreides, it's supposed to be, you know, this burden.
He loses everything, and then
essentially he should be Peter Parker, and I'm not getting that right now. I'm not getting that right now. That's my only complaint. So maybe in part 3 they're going to give us all that sacrifice and the grief, and maybe it'll be worth the payoff. But right now, I would say see it, man. More people are enjoying it than not. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably a little outlier, you know, with this thing, you know, because I'd like to strip things down to their core. And as we said, this is a version of Star Wars. It's a version of Avatar. It's a little Game of Thrones-ish. So, but it's funny because those things came before it and definitely inspired it, man. But I would say check it out, man.
I think they came. No, I think
I mean, this came before those things and inspired them. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But yeah.